The Renault Captur is Renault's smaller crossover SUV in the range. Suppose you could call it a Clio on steroids to an extent. Very, very neat looks, and particularly in this one with the striking red metallic paint and the black contrasting roof, looks really, really smart. The model we have here is the diesel, the 1.5 DCI diesel version, which gives you Renault's really famous and well-known, excellent 1.5 litre diesel engine, which puts out 66 kilowatts and 220 Newton meters of torque. So lots of torque as well out of this engine, which is very, very useful. Nice sized body, slightly raised ride height, which is useful again in a crossover SUV type vehicle. And you come round to a smallish boot at 224 litres, but it does also have the little trick of a extra little dummy floor over here to give you some extra load space, and you can of course drop your rear seats 60-40 to give you about 880 litres of load space if you need it in total, if you want to carry bigger loads. So overall you can see very, very neat lines, lots of extra features on the car, and a nice, smart, pretty funky looking little crossover vehicle if you ask me. We're going to take a look inside now. Moving into the driver's seat, you're faced with a fairly modern looking instrument panel, which gives you lots of information as well. And of course your trip computer over here, which you can scroll through. You can see I've done 360 odd kilometers on this test. And of course the information that's important is to show you fuel economy, etc. And I can tell you that if you take a look over here for that 360, and this is real life general usage. I always have to stress that point. These are not quoted figures. This is what I've achieved during a lot of traffic, a lot of commuting. In the week I've had the car, 6 litres per 100 kilometers. I think that's pretty good and pretty exceptional for this vehicle. You do have, of course, your multifunction steering wheel, which is standard, and you have your controls for your doors, your windows, and also you do have mirrors that fold in automatically when you lock the car, which I always think is a nice feature as well. You move over to the center fascia over here, and you do have a nice little storage compartment which pops open, where you could put your cell phone, sunglasses, anything of that sort, go nicely in there if you want. Down to, of course, what has become a Renault standard now is your touchscreen system on the Renaults. You can see I've got it on navigation at the moment. I find the system on the Renaults, the TomTom system, really nice and easy to work with, easy to program, which to me is important. And of course you just go in here and you can go to your various features and functions, settings, etc. all over there, nice and easy and very simple to work with. Press of a button. Just below that, of course, you come to your climate control system with all your controls for your aircon, climate control system, and fan over there. Again, effective, works neatly, works nicely. Something over here that maybe, Renault, isn't it about time maybe you updated the key card? Everybody else uses a fob these days, and a simple little key fob that you keep in your pocket, having to put the key card into a slot like that, and then going to your modern style push button, stop start button. A little bit of a contrast in my book, so maybe Renault, I don't know. Over here, 5-speed manual gearbox. Now, what I love about this gearbox is the fact that nice short sharp shifts, nice light clutch, but for example you'll shift from first to second, very short, very quick, very easy. However, and I use the word however, I feel a 6-speed would really match this engine so much better. Second gear, if you move into second gear at low revs, before the turbo kicks in, there is absolutely nothing there. And I almost got caught out once or twice in traffic situations where there just was no go at that point in time in the car when I went into second gear. So maybe something Renault, I think a 6-speed would solve all those problems. But it's a nice gearbox, don't let me take away from that. You do have on this DCI version, you do have nice leather trim, sporty type seats. You even have an armrest that can fold down for the driver as well, with a little storage compartment in there too. So there are lots of extra touches and features on the car, which I think are very nice and neat. Cup holders, obviously, as usual. And a little extra as well, and something that I kind of spotted along the way, is there's a little button right down here on the side of my seat that is a seat warmer. Yes, you heard me. A little button for the seat warmer. There you go. You almost have to look for it a little bit. But an interesting extra on the car is that little seat warmer as well on a vehicle of this sort. So something that I found along the way. Overall, you can see space in the back seat is average to good for a small to medium crossover, so I don't think you have any complaints about that. Renault obviously also include their 3-year, 45,000 kilometer service plan in the price of this car, so there are so many competitors. It's again one of those cases where the list is going to be too long for me to discuss all the competitors, but you know, most brands are now competing in the segment. I love the smooth, typically French ride, the slightly softer, but with nice handling. It doesn't compromise the handling, but it does give that to you. So that's something that I enjoy on the Renaults overall. As I said, 294 900. I would really love to see a 6-speed gearbox. That's probably my only real thing with this vehicle. But otherwise, if you're looking for your B-segment crossover vehicle, this is one I would put on my shortlist. I have to be very, very honest. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor, and I'll see you next time.